You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Arya Whitner, and this is your NXT update for Wednesday, April 25, 2018. Thank you all for listening. NXT kicked off this week with Undisputed Era coming to the ring for a promo. Adam Cole pointed out all their championship belts and said this is what happens when you back them into a corner. NXT's mission has been to prevent this from happening, yet here they stand. Bobby Fish said they were thrown to the wolves at War Games and again in New Orleans, but they are one step above everyone else. Roderick Strong was next, mocking the fans, asking why he joined Undisputed Era. He said for once he did something for himself and made the best decision of his career. He said he could have won the titles with Pete Dunne, but if he had, how long would it have been until Dunne turned on him, since he only cares about the UK title? Suddenly, in the middle of the match at TakeOver, he had an epiphany. Why fight by himself and come up short when they could fight together and take over NXT? O'Reilly finished by saying they are done being backed into a corner, and no matter what the powers that be do, they cannot be stopped. Times are changing, and they are leaving everyone in the dust. Cole said that he'll prove it as he defends his North American title by himself against Oney Lorcan, laughing about needing help to beat Lorcan. So that led us to Adam Cole defending the NXT North American title against Oney Lorcan. This was more competitive for Cole than he was expecting, as Lorcan went after Cole's DDP trademark taped ribs, which Cole sold for the duration of the bout. The fans liked Lorcan, but no one felt he had the chance to win here. Lorcan dropped him ribs first across the top rope, and Cole was injured. Oh my God, what a terrible thing that could happen. I don't know what's going to happen now to Cole. He might have to be stripped of his championship gold. Kyle O'Reilly ran down with a paramedic to check on his leader, Roderick Strong. I'm sure he was just very upset about this injury, so he gave Lorcan a back suplex onto the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, when suddenly, it was a miracle. Cole got up, shook off the injury, finished off Lorcan, and retained the title. After the match, Strong and O'Reilly continued the beatdown. Danny Burch ran down for the save, but he got overpowered by all three men. We had a video package for Shayna Baszler and a commercial for WWE 24 Raw 25. And then it was announced that next week Candice LeRae will take on Bianca Belair. So we got a video package for Belair. And that led us to our next match, as Heavy Machinery took on the team of Riddick Moss and Tino Savatelli. This might sound familiar since we just had this match 2 weeks ago, but you might also recall that we didn't have a finish since War Raiders debuted and destroyed both teams. These two teams actually worked pretty well together, and we had some good four-way brawling to start the match. It broke down into a tag team match playa, with Otis Dozovich playing the role of Ricky Morton tonight. He made the hot tag to Tucker Knight, who ran wild on Moss. Sabatelli was knocked off the apron on accident by his partner, and then Sabatelli did his best Sid impersonation by reaching for a tag to his ailing partner before dropping off the apron and walking away. All that was missing here was for him to threaten to punch Brutus Beefcake. Anyway, Dozovich beat Moss with a trash compactor. After the match, Heavy Machinery vowed to eat all the steaks and lift all the weights, and then they will kick the asses of War Raiders. During the night, we had a pair of video packages looking at potential challenges for Shayna Baszler, including Nikki Cross, Aaliyah, Kairi Sane, Lacey Evans, Vanessa Bourne, and Candice LeRae. Aaliyah, who you might recall really sucks, complained that she's not getting a title shot because she doesn't have a famous best friend like Ronda Rousey. Earlier today, Dakota Kai was being interviewed by Kathy Kelly regarding Shayna. She refused to talk about Baszler. Kathy kept asking questions, and Kai kept deflecting them until Baszler walked in. Baszler intimidated her and informed her that Baszler running the women's division is Kai's worst nightmare. Kona Reeves is coming. Bet you were excited about that one. Next week, TM61 versus Street Profits, and Pete Dunne versus Roderick Strong. And then it was time for the main event, or so we thought. Johnny Gargano came to the ring for his championship match with Aleister Black when he was attacked by Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa threw him into the stage, but Gargano fought back and delivered a running crossbody off the announcer's table. Gargano continued to punch away before Ciampa booted him low and shoved him down. The fans chanted that Ciampa tapped out until Ciampa hit the Randy Orton punt to the head of a down Johnny Wrestling. Referees finally decided to come out here, but Ciampa ignored them and hit an Emerald Fusion through some production tables off the stage set up nearby. The EMTs and medical staff came out to stretcher Gargano away. Cassius Ohno was actually one of the people helping out here. As they loaded Gargano into the ambulance, Aleister Black arrived and watched the scene unfold. As the ambulance drove away, the camera zoomed out, and there, standing on top of a nearby ring truck, waving goodbye, was Tommaso Ciampa. So instead of competing for the title tonight, Gargano is going to spend the night in the local medical facility. Aleister Black decides to storm back into the arena, storm through the backstage area, down the ramp, into the ring, and he grabbed a mic. He is prepared to offer a challenge to Ciampa when Sanity came out instead. Eric Young said Johnny Gargano's hope was taken away by chaos. Out of chaos, we will find hope, and we will find sanity. Before Young could continue, Black cut him off and challenged him to an immediate title match. A bell rang, and we had ourselves a match. Aleister Black versus Eric Young. The announcers weren't sure if this was an actual title match, but it is on. And honestly, though, this was a pretty basic match and was more designed to give Sanity a send-off as they're on their way to SmackDown. And it was a nice little showcase for the new champion. Alexander Wolf kept trying to interfere. It kept failing. Young did not enjoy being kicked in the thigh, but there was nothing he could do to stop the new NXT champion from turning him black and blue. Young did the Ric Flair corner flip, slid back into the ring, but got laid out with black mass for the 1, the 2, and the 3. Both Wolf and Killian Dane slid in for the attack, and both took a black mass for the trouble. And that was how the show ended. An eventful last 30 minutes, to say the least. I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you again in 7 days.
You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.